Hi everyone, this is Giacomo Facari, here again to show you a little thing that I've been working on just for fun. Recently I was for 3 weeks in Galway doing an internship, well, an apprenticeship with John Romero and Brenda Romero at Romero Games, and I asked John Romero what he would do to kind of show that you're pretty good at like doing controls with Unreal and stuff like that. And what he said is, well, I think doing something like Mario 64, those controls are awesome, right? And you've previously done like weapon stuff, combat AIs and stuff like that. Why not something different? I was like, okay, sure. So I took a few afternoons and I made what I'm gonna show you now. I noticed now that there's a few traces, capsule traces in there, but don't worry, this is just code example just for fun, really, just to learn some things. So anyway, this is a copy of Mario 64. I did not set the proof for the camera so you could do this, but that's not important here. It's simple. So just as in Mario, the camera goes back, the Lakitu brothers and all that thing, they kind of like want to go there or go kind of like where you are moving and stuff like that, but they have a little bit of lag. One of the things that makes the movement quite interesting with Mario is the friction, acceleration, and deceleration. Those are just like simple values that you can just get on the code. But apart from that, to start with the walking of Mario, when you turn, well, just so you see the start and stop, like the simplest one, it takes quite a bit to start and quite a bit to stop, and in certain occasions you can like slide off. I don't have the animations, obviously the correct animations, so you have to use your imagination a little bit, but the actual movement is all there. So yeah, walking, when you turn, it's interesting because if you have almost no speed, he just turns immediately in place, but if you have a little bit of speed, he actually does this kind of like S's, which are quite interesting, towards the front of the camera, right? So slowly and then more quickly, and of course if you do it more quickly, he slides. Obviously I don't have the animations, so just use your imagination, you know which one it is, the one to do the lateral jump here. So he turns around, he turns around, he turns around. So yeah, those are like several little details about walking that he does. Obviously, if he jumps against a wall, he crashes there. But what about when he's crouching? So if he's walking fast and he crouches, he keeps on sliding a little bit. We'll remember that, and he cannot move there. But then once he's crouching and at a normal, like 0 speed, you can move a little bit, very, very slowly. And you can jump out of it, obviously. So yeah, slide and move. You cannot turn while you're sliding and things like that. So I'm actually inputting and he doesn't do it. So see, there you go, until he's like very slow. Jumps, so obviously he has different, this is like the first jump, he has a triple jump in the game, so you have like different distances depending on how long I push the button, but you also have the double jump, the first jump, this is the first jump, and double jump. Now we know that he has a triple jump, but if you're not moving, it doesn't matter how well you time it, he just does the first jump again or second, but he never does the third one, which is actually, so the weight in between him touching the ground and being and that input in is 0.1 seconds, something like that, which is slightly short for modern sensibilities. I mean, it makes it quite difficult, but to do the triple jump you have to have some speed forward, otherwise he doesn't do it. It doesn't have to be much, but it has to be some. Now obviously the jumps, he has some air control, actually very close to about half of what he does while moving, maybe 0.6, something like that. But particularly the third jump has so much control that you can just like be literally more close to the camera than when you started jumping, so which is quite interesting. So like that, or moving forward, it would be like that. So yeah, it's even hard for me to do the 3 jumps consistently because it's such a low time frame. So as you can see, you cannot rotate during the jump, but you can rotate in between jumps. So that's quite interesting. As you saw there, I actually move almost backwards because I was controlling, like here I'm gonna move forward. So yeah, so that's like the triple jump, which of course I guess you could use here. Let's wait for the camera to move. Yeah, I can actually move it with my mouse, so it's faster. Let's try. Yep, nice. So here you cannot do it with the normal one, but you can do it with the second jump. Hop, there we go. All right. That's the pounce, which I will talk about in a second. Side jump. So you know, when you slide turning directions like this, you can do this. If you do it too slow, you do a normal jump, but if you do it quite quickly, you do this sideways jump that he does. Obviously I don't have the animations, but it's much higher and quite much higher than the normal jumps, and quite a parable in there, so it's quite interesting. You can do a lot of stuff with that in the game. So for example, you could do something like, let's see if I can do it. Yep, like that. And the camera, by the way, is quite interesting. The arm is not exactly on the floor, but it's very, very close to the floor compared to where Mario is. So, you know, and also the camera, also the arm takes longer, like it has quite a bit of lag to move to almost the floor, as you can see. But the camera rotates towards Mario. So that's what gives it this quite interesting look up when he jumps, look down when he's not jumping feeling, and it's actually such a good idea. It really gives jumping the feeling of, you know, height, and yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, so side jump, you know, if you don't do it right, you do normal jump, and if you do it very quickly, it's quite a nice jump right there. Of course, you can bounce from the side jump. Wall jumps. Yep. So quite simple. If you jump and you don't do it right, you get rejected, obviously. But if you do it in the right timing, which is incredibly short, by the way, you can wall jump. So that can actually work for most jumps. So for example, you could do this. Wow, first try, that's amazing. You could do like that as well, or you could do, and I remember being a kid and not getting this right because it's quite difficult. Simple jump, second jump, and try to. So it's just as difficult as it was in the original game, which is awesome. The feeling is really similar. So yeah, that definitely works. Whoops, let's try to get up there. Woo. Okay, we could come here and do like whoop, pow. Perfect. So it looks it's very, very similar, really. It's like the feeling of playing, it's very similar. You can download it and check it out. I mean, it's obviously not perfect, but it's very, very similar. Now, back jump. So remember, when you crouch, you can jump backwards. He should rotate here and say woohoo, but you know, I don't have the assets. So, and then he moves a little bit. So what is interesting, because for example, let's try to get up there. Oops. Yep. So it's a little bit higher than the double jump, and it's useful for this kind of situations, as you will probably remember. But it does have air control, so you could fall even. So you could. That's the normal one. That's air control forward. So as you see, if I tried, I could probably fall off towards the front here, and air control backwards. So as you can see, and he slides a little bit. So as you can see, a lot of control in his jumping, and yeah, it's really well done. Miyamoto really exceeded himself here. A long jump, so crouching, and as you remember, probably depending on how much velocity you have left, use forward jump more or less. And that also has air control. I couldn't get it exactly right here because it's probably based on animation a little bit, but you can get actually back more backwards than you started. Oops. But I did manage to get either like really far away or oops, or very close. So you see that he has a little bit of air control. For example, here I could oops. See, it's like really like the game. It's funny. Yep, so I can definitely go really far away, or I can not even get there. So you can see the air control there. Pouncing, because I don't have it in my notes and I'm gonna forget. You remember, of course, that you could pounce to hurt things. You should kind of like do a back flip there or a forward flip. You can do it from any jump, just as in the game, and it's quite useful because maybe you're running out of, like, you're going somewhere you don't want to go. Oops. I think what makes the control very difficult in this game is actually this and this. The controls are quite specific to get those right. So yeah, anyway, here we go. Bounce, because I don't want to go there. So yeah, you can also do it from here, anything really. You can do it off a wall jump. Basically, if you are in the air, you can do it. Boom. So like I said, I don't have the probe on, so but this should stay here, obviously. Yeah, and the slide off. This is quite cool, quite interesting. Took me a little bit to figure this out. Whoa, okay. So if you want to try to go up here slowly, he doesn't want to. If you go a little bit faster, he can a little bit, but as soon as you stop, you go back. If you go really fast, you almost get there, boom, and then you go down, like you lose all your speed, and you fall. If you jump, same thing. And that should be a backwards jump that he does, and he tries to land on his feet, but that's definitely animation based. So yeah, that seems so simple, and it's quite interesting to figure out how they did it. So yeah, like you can see, it really does work, and it really adapts itself to the speed at which you're going. Oh, yep. So it gives like Mario are a lot of you know, like what's the word, personality, you know, like when he oops, he does like ow, oops, and he's like sliding, you know, and like all these little sounds that he does, and like all these circumstances that are very cute, and they did an excellent job. I mean, honestly, it's like obviously one of the best feeling video games of all time, and you know, it's a formula that they've been reusing for, what is it now, like 14 years, something like that. No, 24 years, something like that. Anyway, so yeah, 94. So it's clearly amazing, and it's awesome to know how it works now. And yeah, like I will probably post the source code. I will definitely post an executable of this, so go and check it out. Not sure about the source code yet, but I mean, if you're really interested, just send me an email, and I'll show it to you. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that, and take care. Any questions, just send me an email. Cheers.